In the meantime, speaking of international updates, as far as right ahead of another Prime Minister's visit to India, and this would be of Canada that we are speaking of, Mark Carney's visit to New Delhi that is now expected. Now, it seems that Ottawa has now softened its stance, signaling a reset in ties, saying that India is not linked to violent crimes. And this seems to be a big reset signal coming ahead of Mark Carney's trip, as Ottawa is now signaling reset of ties ahead of the Canadian Prime Minister's visit to India. So, how do we understand this statement, Srinjoy? Because is now Canada now toning down when it comes to terror accusations before Mark Carney's visit?
Mark Carney is always been a very experienced leader. Even before he became Prime Minister, he has had many important assignments as an economics guru, not just in Canada, but also in Britain. And Mark Carney's arrival as Prime Minister has actually changed the conversation between Ottawa and New Delhi, because the Trudeau administration had created a number of problems between these two countries, which have a lot going for each other. There are many positives between India and Canada. But now it's very clear what the situation is going to be, because Carney's visit is much awaited and it's very likely to be a successful one. Particularly, all these old problems are likely to be pushed aside. And very, very possibly, this could be an important visit. Carney himself has spoken out very eloquently during a visit to Europe recently, and it must be said that his talk about middle powers will resonate in many countries, including in India.
But Srinjoy, how do we, get rid side as far as India now making its stand clear? Because there have been varied accusations that Canada previously has been making against India. In fact, naming when it comes to our leaders here are also concerned. Now, this reshift of ties, which is a significant shift, is now concerned. Will India also make its, counter stand clear? Because India was being bombarded with allegations without any evidence or any substance that was being shown from the Canadian authorities.
Yes, that came mostly from the Justin Trudeau administration. India realizes that it was the Trudeau administration which had made those allegations, and India had completely rejected them at that time. Now, with the arrival of Carney, and over a period of time, we have seen a gradual moving towards each other, if you can say that, as far as India and Canada are concerned. And the arrival of Carney here is clear evidence that the past is being cast aside. We are not.
But what about action by the Canadian authorities, Srinjoy? Will India make it clear as far as anti-India elements and activities by extremists are now leveled and these protests are also leveled, that would be must dealt with by Canadian authorities?
Yes, that is certainly one issue that will come up, because for years and years, India has been speaking about Khalistani elements creating havoc. I mean, this goes back to the mid-80s, when an Indian airplane was bombed by the Khalistanis, and it led to the loss of several hundred lives.
Just request you to stay on with us, because we're trying to get experts, opinions as well on this development ahead of Mark Carney's visit. Patikrit, because this marks as a significant shift in diplomatic relations, do you believe, following a turbulent period of accusations and tensions between India and Canada?
Well, absolutely. The relationship had reached a very bad, zone, primarily during the Justin Trudeau's era. And I think we witnessed a considerable amount of effort being put in by Mark Carney government to restore the relationship and ensure that neither Canada land is used for any kind of anti-India activities, and nor any kind of allegations are given any space where it had become in the past a template to blame India for anything that happens inside Canada. So these are very important steps, and there is a background to it also, because Canada itself is facing quite a bit of challenge, or it had faced because of the American tariff issue. And I think there are realizations that the way the global economic theater is moving towards Asia, the importance of India is rising so much that not just United States, the European Union went for a free trade agreement. Canada itself has a lot of trade issues with United States. They want to have a free trade agreement, and I think in essence these two countries should have good relations. There's a huge expat population from India who stays in Canada and have contributed to the Canadian economy and the society. So I think there's no reason why there should be problems. Yes, there are scars of the past like that of Kanishka, but one thing is very important. There are genuine and sincere efforts, as of yet what appears, being made by Mark Carney government to improve the relation. Where it goes from here, we have to wait and watch. But at the same time, we have to be very careful that there are elements who would try to disturb the situation, to create problems, and to ensure that it doesn't happen.
Well, because this is a sign of normalizing relations. Both countries have already reinstated their respective high commissioners, and ahead of Mark Carney's India visit, the Canadian government officials saying that there has been a systematic engagement with Indian government, including at the senior official, ministerial and even leadership levels as well. Thank you very much, Patikrit, for joining us, and to you, Srinjoy, as well.